Hello, everybody. We welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use here at LaSalle TV, Comcast Channel 56, and Verizon Fios Channel 36. I am your host, Thera Martin Milling. Glad to be with you today. On our program today, in the first segment, we're going to talk with Dr. Patrick Lay, and he's a chiropractor. I've never been to a chiropractor before, so we're going to learn all about that kind of medicine, all right? And then when we turn the page a little bit later on in this program, we're going to shine the spotlight on a woman that I believe should be named the nation's #1 educator. And her name is Veronica Joyner, and she heads up an outstanding charter school in the city of Philadelphia. She'll tell you about it when we get to her segment. So stay along with us for the ride. We'll be back with our first guest in a moment. And hello once again, everyone. Here we go with our program today. Now, if you were watching just a few moments ago, you heard my teaser. If you just turned the set on, then you may have missed it. But in the first segment, we're talking with Dr. Patrick Lay. And I want to say hello to you, doctor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thera,
Yes.
for having me. Really appreciate this.
It was my pleasure to meet you a few weeks back, and I said to myself, wow, this doctor right here is interesting, exciting, and a real positive energy about you.
Thank
you gave me a little bit of your story when we did an interview on WURD, and I said, wow, I want him for my cable show. Now, I've already admitted, I've never been to a chiropractor before.
Sure.
Talk about what it is to be a chiropractor.
Ms. Thera, thank you very much. A lot of people have preconceived idea of what chiropractic is. They think it's cracking backs, cracking necks, auto accidents, work comp issues, things of that nature. But it's not. Chiropractic's about life. Chiropractic is about making sure that your brain and your body are communicating with one another 100% the way God intended. And so my job is to locate nerve interference where there's traffic in your nervous system. We locate it, we gently adjust it, get it out of the way so we can restore brain-body communication. Because a lot of people are walking around with pain, symptoms, disease that possibly their nervous system's not functioning properly. Not because they're lacking medications or they're not exercising or they're not eating the right foods, possibly their nervous system, it's just not functioning at its best. So that's where I come in. I got to clear that nervous system, God's lifeline, so that we can restore brain-body communication. Yes.
Well, now, if it weren't for you being on the radio station where I happen to work, I might not have had this opportunity to chat with you or to even consider, I want to do this for myself just to see the difference and a different way of healing and feeling better. But you convinced me in that little bit of time that we talked a few weeks back that this was something I needed to explore. Try something new, try something different. Now, I've already admitted to you, I don't like taking drugs if I can avoid it. I mean, of any kind. I like to just, do the natural thing. When I start to feel a little scratch, a little tickle in my throat, for example, I get the honey and the lemon out. I mean, I get the tea out. I try the old school, old home remedies first, always, with any kind of health issue with myself before I go to the doctors.
And that's what a nice phrase that I like to use for my clients is chiropractic first, drugs second, surgery last, okay? Especially in the communities that I've served back in Southern California and also here in Philadelphia, I've noticed just so much drug intake and so much outside in and so many surgeries are like commonplace. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why are people going that route when possibly we can go a more safer route first, But that's just Western culture. And that's where I'm stepping in, saying Dr. Patrick Lay is going to stand and make a stand and say, you know what, we don't need to go that route. Let's try a conservative route first and work with God's design first, see if there's anything going on there, and then from there we can go the drug route and then the surgery route. Very, very simple. But yet, especially in the communities where, where I serve, man, it's just so much outside in, and I want to put a stop to that and say, look, we got to educate. We got to educate people to understand their bodies and how how they operate, how they function.
So when a person comes to a chiropractor, it doesn't necessarily have to be because they were in an accident or they have some kind of a pain that won't go away. It can be for other issues as well.
Ms. Thera, exactly. Not only just for people with pain. Most of my clients are wellness people, people who are into health and wellness. But I also have people come in with high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, strokes, people who are in wheelchairs, people who are migraine headaches, people who are pregnant, Okay, babies come into my office to get adjusted because we want to make sure their nervous systems are functioning because the birth process is very traumatizing in their bodies. And so all the more reason for chiropractic to come into play.
Now, I hope I don't embarrass myself and pronounce this word wrong. Sciatica?
Sure.
My daughter, when she was pregnant,
Yes.
the last 2 months of her pregnancy, she had to stop school.
Yes.
She was in college at the time, and go on full bed rest because she had some sciatica nerve issue going with her back.
Correct.
And I've heard a number of other people since then, and that was some years ago now, that had the sciatica issue. Is that something that a person would come to a chiropractor for?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
A lot of times sciatic issues, they're not actually coming from the sciatic nerve, from the waist down.
Yes.
It's coming from up here.
Wow.
There's an alignment issue up here in the cervical spine and possibly the mid-thoracic spine that's creating little nerve interference that's affecting the sciatic nerve.
Wow.
So that's why a lot of times when people come to see me, they're like, wow, you didn't even like address where I was hurting, so to speak. Because I said, yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the cause,
Right.
not the effect.
Okay.
So that's the key.
Okay, so
Yes.
when I imagine myself coming to you and say, here's my foot, I'm taking off my shoe, I'm taking off my sock, here it is. And it might not even be that you're gonna look at.
No, exactly. We have to
Wow.
look at the source, which is your nervous system, your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves. And that's what chiropractic is. We're addressing the master control system of the body, which is the nervous system, which just so happens to be protected by the spine. So God gave us a spine to protect the nervous system. So any interference to that nervous system, we are gonna have issues because your brain and your body are gonna be interfered with, the communication lines, because there is possibly misalignments of your spinal vertebrae.
Now, I'm trying to remember the story you shared with me. You talked about your culture a little bit and
Yes.
how in your culture, most parents and grandparents, they want their children to be a doctor, a
Yes.
medical doctor, or they want you to be a lawyer, period.
Yep.
No conversation.
None.
And you went a little bit differently than what the traditional Asian family might have wanted you to do.
Ms. Thera, that was the toughest part because I knew that chiropractic was right, but then when it was coming time to actually commit to it, I was nervous because my parents, they wanted me to go to the medical route because that's what I was applying for medical school.
Yes.
But then my nephew, who had asthma at 6 months of age, his life changed because of the chiropractic adjustment. So right then and there, I knew this had to be something that I had to pursue, but I was afraid because of culture, because of stereotypes,
Right.
But then, my chiropractor who took care of Nathan, my nephew, he asked me one question. He said, you know what, if chiropractic DC had the same prestige as MD, would you do it? Automatically, I said, yes, I would. And he said, there you go. This is your calling. This is what God called you to do. So now you got to do it. I mean, it's in your heart.
Wow.
Don't worry about society.
Yes.
You'll make an impact
Yes.
in the chiropractic field, but you just got to go with your heart and what God's called you to do. And I said, you know what, that's right. And so I just committed to it. And 10 years later now, it's been phenomenal.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So when people come to look for you,
Yes.
they're going to look for the words, the Center for Higher Power?
Great question. I'm in a professional building, so you won't even see me.
Okay.
Yes, but at my office, very, very easy to get to. It's right in Bala Cynwyd, 1 block from Channel 10 NBC, so very, very efficient. I come from Southern California, so I love parking. So my parking lot's massive, and it's free.
Yeah.
There's no street parking.
A good thing.
No street parking, no parallel parking. So yeah, very, very easy to get to. And my first visit's complimentary. Please mention that you saw me on Ms. Thera's show, and no problem, visit's complimentary. And that way we can check to see what the cause, why the body's doing what it's doing, that kind of thing.
So when a person comes to see a chiropractor, whether that be you or some other chiropractor that they've heard about, that first visit, is it much like when you would go to a doctor's office where you go into the room and they'll have the little paper sort of cloth for you to put on yourself? You got to strip down and get ready for the doctor to see you.
Not
is
at
it
all,
like
Ms. Thera.
that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
My office is very, very different. You get to keep clothes on.
Okay. Okay.
Everything's all on, and what you'll notice that it's a different kind of experience. I can't speak for other chiropractors, other offices, because I do things my way, so to speak. But what you'll find is everyone who's been to my office, really feels at home. They feel like it's a safe haven to go to.
Yes.
And I tell them, look, my first visit's complimentary. There's no charge. Why? Because chiropractic's a relationship. You and I have to have a relationship. If you're going to be motivated to come see me and take care of your life and health and well-being, you're going to want to go. And so that's why I invite you. Just like when I invited my wife on our first date, you know what I mean? I paid for the bill. You know what I mean? I had to make sure. And if it was a fit, we had a second date. But if not, it's okay. We just weren't meant to be. It's all about chemistry, and that's what I love about my office is that my first visit, people know right away whether this is the place for them or not. And if it is, we're going to take your life and health to the next level.
Wow, that sounds so good. It sounds so very good. We're talking with Dr. Patrick Lay, and he is a chiropractor, practicing here in the Philadelphia area, and we're so glad to have you on the show. If there was somebody viewing the program who is, in high school, maybe they're already in college attending a great school like LaSalle University or some other school, and this is a line that they think they want to go into, what do you advise? I mean, do you do a 4 years of college, undergrad, and then go on to study to be a chiropractor? How's that work?
Same thing as medical school. So you go through 4 years of undergrad, and then when you apply for medical school, when you get into chiropractic school, it's the same 4-year basically studies that medical schools go through. But instead of going through residency, when we graduate, we can actually either do a fellowship or internship with another chiropractor, or we can actually open up our own office. For me, I opened up my own office. I knew right away after graduation, I'm hitting the floor running because I had great mentors that I followed during school, and that's something that people don't teach you in school is you got to have mentors. You gotta go outside and watch the people who are in it, because if you don't, if you're just sitting there in school just learning from the instructors, guess what? You're only going to get that, just be average. You got to be, you want to go above average, you got to go to other people who are doing it in the field and doing it well. All right, that sounds so good, and I am just so glad for the opportunity to finally meet you. After hearing your commercials and hearing other people at the radio station talk about you, when I met you, I was sold, and now having this opportunity to chat with you here at LaSalle TV, even more sold than ever, and I'm excited about the opportunity to come to your office and get a chiropractic check. Why not? I need it. I'm getting older. I got all kinds of aches and pains going on that didn't used to be there. And Ms. Thera, as you age, we want you to age and actually feel good, you know what I mean, and actually be vibrant, rather than just like here in Western culture, oh, I'm going to live for 50, 60 years, and after that we're going to suffer. That's not right. God didn't design our bodies that way. Our bodies are designed 120 years of vibrant life, so it's up to us to make that choice, whether we're going to go the vibrant route or we're going to go the suffering route like our parents and grandparents. I want to go the vibrant route any day of the week. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you for being here. Put a phone number out there right quick for us. Yes, 215-740-9791. 215-740-9791. Again, my first visit is complimentary. Just mention that you saw me on Miss Thera's show, and automatically, no problem, first visit is complimentary. And what you'll see, we're very affordable, so you can come on a long-term basis. Website, yes, easy. My office name is the Center for Higher Power, www.thecenterforhigherpower.com. www.thecenterforhigherpower.com. All right. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. You're very welcome, sir. Thank you so much. And happy holidays to you. Yes, thank you. You and viewers as well. All right. Now we're going to keep it moving as we go forward with this edition of News You Can Use. In a moment, we're going to come back with a lady. She's got a lot of positive history in the city of Philadelphia and educating our young people, making for sure they're shored up and ready to go to college. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, did you hear what happened to Derek this weekend?
Yeah, I can't believe his friends just left them there. Did they not see how sick he was?
I guess they didn't want to get in trouble for like underage drinking, and like they probably thought they would get like arrested or something, but still.
Well, there is this thing called the Medical Amnesty Act.
I've never heard of that. What is that?
Well, basically, if your friend is drinking underage, you can help them out without getting in trouble if they need medical attention.
Oh, so it makes people more willing to help people who might have alcohol poisoning and not worry about getting in trouble.
And it can save so many lives.
Yeah, definitely.
The Center for Disease Control reports that on average, alcohol is a factor in over 4,358 deaths in young people under 21. This number can be greatly reduced with responsibility, the Medical Amnesty Act, and the understanding that helping a friend is the most important thing.
Hook to the dollar feature and you're on my mind. Return of the creature, the crawler from the subway line. You're always keeping me waiting, for you.
My name is Caitlin. I'm 6 years old. I like to go to the beach with my cousins. When I was a baby, I was very sick. And then I got a liver transplant from an organ donor. He saved my life.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
And we are back as we go forward with this edition of News You Can Use. It's the holiday time, right? We are in the midst of the Thanksgiving holiday season, which goes right into the Christmas and New Year holiday season. So I'm just going to say peace and blessings to everybody. And we are prayerful that everyone who has an opportunity to view this program, we are praying that you are well and you're all right today and that you are feeling positive, even if you don't have everything that you think you may need or want in your life at this moment. We're prayerful that you're okay, and that you're positive. You're going to keep it moving. You're going to go forward and marching right along. That's what I'm talking about. I am so delighted to have you, Veronica Joyner, sitting by my side. You are one of my sheroes in Philadelphia history.
Thank you. Thank
yes,
you. So
yes.
are you.
Coming from when I first met you, Parents United for Better Schools,
Yes.
pubs,
Yes.
PUBS.
Yes.
And I remember the days when this lady taught my son in her living room in Mount Airy before she had a building, before she had a whole school, a charter school. That's an excellent school. But Veronica, you've been doing it a long time.
I have. It's a mission, a God mission. So I work very, very hard, 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yes.
And the results are showing.
Yes, they are. So you have bragging rights. Brag, please brag about your school, which I haven't even said the name yet.
Yeah, the Mathematics, Civics, and Sciences Charter School of Philadelphia. And we have the highest in the city, the highest graduation rate, and that's 100%, and the highest college placement rate, which is 97 to 98% of our students go to college.
And how old is your school now?
17 years old.
It's like, I remember when you were talking about opening a school.
Yes.
I remember when you just had your living room and you were teaching children, my son being one of them, and mentoring them and tutoring them in your living room in Mount Airy. And you went from there to you got a building up here in Germantown.
Yes.
At the mall, Maplewood Mall.
Right, and we've been there since '89.
And you still have an office there?
Still there every day, dealing with parents and any concerns they have. And then the school, which we have over 1,000 students in grades 1 through 12.
And a waiting list that goes on forever.
And usually high school is easier to get the students in the high school area. Because after we've done the hard work for 8 years, the top public schools will take our children readily.
All right, I'm gonna make a confession on national TV, because when you do put anything on camera nowadays, it can be national because we're on YouTube, so it's not just like, oh, people see this in a part of Philadelphia. You can see this show around the world. I don't understand a lot of my grandson's homework. I don't even try anymore, Veronica. I don't even try. But the difference is I have a daughter who's highly intelligent, and she gets it, and she understands all that stuff. So good, thank God there's her, right? But I shudder to think sometimes, what if my daughter had to go to a training that was a month long something? My grandson will be up the creek, or I got to come find Veronica.
And that's one of the big problems. That's one of the big problems. They've changed. They have the Pennsylvania system of school assessments every year. And that list of things students must learn is very long. Now they have infused the Common Core curriculum, which is even harder for parents. We've had teachers that have had to learn basic things over because of the steps that they've added to doing a basic multiplication.
Right. None of the math looks familiar to me anymore. And so I'm really lost. I can help them with reading, writing projects, all that kind of stuff. I got that. But the math, I'm lost. And I can't help that little boy at all.
And
but
I think it's by design. I don't really think that they want parents to actually understand. The assessments now are trying to see if a student is going to be an engineer by second, third grade. Well, if you teach the foundation.
Or a jailbird.
Yes. If you teach the foundation skills, you're more, able to get that child where he or she wants to go once they reach that age.
But my concern is that, and Lord knows, I still haven't made it to the big times, okay? So I'm not making money like some of these TV people we see at 3, 6, and 10 in the major networks. I'm not making that kind of money. It's okay. God is still good. But I will work 5 jobs if I have to for my grandson. if I see he's in trouble with a subject, to pay for professional tutors and the things that you have to do to shore your children up.
Yes.
But there are some parents out here who aren't willing to work 5 jobs. They're not willing to work 1. Or they don't have the wherewithal. They don't think, okay, I can't do this math. I don't know how to do it. Let me get some help. And they're not getting the help. So now my child is failing, and that's not acceptable.
It's not at all. We have a tutoring program, Parents United for Better Schools. We've sponsored children. We have medical doctors out of the program, and many coming from some of the top schools in the city. And the program is still the same donation. For 2 hours of instruction, your child will get a certified teacher for $10 for 2 hours. So we've never increased it. It was that amount when I had your son and your daughter, and it never increased.
Wow.
So parents can simply call Parents United for Better Schools office. Should I give that number now?
Please.
Okay, it's 215-844-5525. That's 215-844-5525. And the office is based in Germantown, but the tutoring is held at the school.
So what makes your school stand out like it is? Aside from the fact that, yes, your kids are doing the work, they're making the grade, they're excelling. What are you doing behind the closed doors of the mathematics and civics and sciences charter school that makes these young people so excellent?
One, we have high expectations, and we reach those expectations by, with our students.
Yeah.
We're not lowering them, so they have to act a certain way. They have to study. The classrooms, children are seated quietly and focused, and that's the major piece. Many schools, the classroom management is the issue.
Yes.
And if you don't have good classroom management, you can't say you're teaching because no one's listening. Teaching and learning is listening.
Yes.
And so we do that. We tutor our children. We coach them. We have the top basketball team in the city as well. Our children learn civics because we feed homeless every Thursday. Since 2010, we started that program. No, 2005, we started that program, feeding the homeless, and our children contribute, and they work at the program. They actually run the program. And we've been doing that, as I said, since 2005. We donate to the major cancer society, the American Red Cross. We're now giving turkeys out to our families, and our teachers and staff donate those turkeys.
So the young people are really learning from the ground up, not just the book work, which is extremely important, the academics, but then they're learning about giving back, about the importance of volunteerism, about raising money to be able to help people who are less fortunate than themselves.
Yes, and that's something, and my students are going out there. They're involved in a lot of areas in helping. And I look at when we track them, and we have students in medical school at Temple, Harvard, Emory Law School, Temple Law School, PhD programs. And they came to us. 96% of our population are from poverty. And the significant part is that poverty usually equates with high dropout and crime. And we have a 0 dropout rate because I don't allow my students to drop out. You have to finish the race.
Okay, that sounds good to me now. During this most recent SEPTA strike, Lord, I was watching the news one morning as I was preparing to go do my radio talk show, and there was a handsome young man, and I heard the name of your school, and I stopped what I was doing. What happened over there? And the little young man, during the SEPTA strike, the parents were driving him to school because he didn't have any other transportation, and they were in a terrible accident. That car looked so mangled. I said, oh my God, the young man's okay today?
Yes, they're fine.
Walking miracle, because that car was so mangled from the shot that I saw on television news. I said, oh my God.
Right, and parent taking the child to school, we had a student to walk 52 blocks to school. And then we were doing a shuttle service up and down Broad Street, picking up students. And many walked because they were that interested in going to school and learning. They didn't want to miss anything.
That's a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful thing.
The SEPTA strike lasted 6 days, but
now, for a parent or parents or grandparents or other caretakers of children watching right now, news you can use, and they're like, I want my child to go to this excellent school. How do we do it? And I know that I always hear there's a waiting list, but when should a parent try to apply for next fall of 2017?
Well, first of all, we take in 88 first graders, so that's always the best time to get a student in. And over the summer, we never close over the summer, so most of all enrollment take place the end of June, July, and August. So parents can contact the school. We're right at 447 North Broad Street, right in front of the School District of Philadelphia's headquarters. And
Oh, they can
we
never
were there.
forget about you.
Right, I'm right
You're
there.
right
and
in
we
their
were there
face.
first. I laugh at that all the time. But they can certainly contact the school at 215-923-4880.
Okay. A couple of quick tips that you would give to parents who have young people in the house between the ages of 5 and 12. Some little tips to help them with after school being focused still on education.
Yes, one, you can certainly start your child early with numbers, alphabets, and teaching them sounds. And, you know, I tell parents that if you want your child to know the word lamp, then put an index card taped to the lamp and the stove and anything that your children can see that they can start learning words. And the alphabet is the first steps, and then there's the phonics. When they have homework, many parents allow children to come home and say, "I don't have homework," and
Then
I
give
say,
them some. You
right,
make
right,
some
that's
up.
it. If you were in school, then homework is only a reinforcement of what you were taught in school that day. So parents should really go through their children's composition books and their their binder to find out what they were taught. And that's how I would do my son. I would start asking questions and give him math problems. And if he couldn't do it, I said, "Well, son, you got homework." So parents can start it at home, make sure the children bring their books home.
Veronica Joyner, I love it. Please give us the pub's number, Parents United
Okay.
for Better Schools, one more time.
Okay, it's 215-844-5525. That's 215-844-5525 if your child needs help.
Okay, I thank you
All
again.
right,
I
thank
love
you.
you. I
I love you
appreciate you. I
too. Thank
respect you
you.
so much.
Thank
We
you.
are out of time as we wrap it up on this edition of News You Can Use. We have another great show coming up next week. One of our guests is going to be from an organization called Connection Training Services, and they will help lift you up. You don't have a job, you don't have any skills, they'll get you in shape. Trust me, we'll hear all about it on our next show. And for those of you observing the holiday, enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your family. If you're not with family, that's okay. Still, you just try to have a good day and eat some turkey and think positively, because we're quickly winding down on the year 2016. 2017 is coming. It's going to be better. Take care, everybody. Remember, life is fragile. Handle it with prayer.